I was listening to a young person, and actually I heard some people talking about this, and it wasn't actually, this person was a little bit older. They said that Iran issues and the conflict, while it being a real thing and a a concern for American citizens, they want to know what's going on in the White House and abroad. We have a war going on right here on American soil, all 50 states. So our schools, public schools, are under attack. And while we're busy looking at all these other external issues that we really can't do too much about, the things that we could fight for, we're missing it. So if you look at this, I had to look it up. That's the kind of person I am. I have to look up information myself, and I have to, they say check for your own understanding to see if it's factual, if it's true, if it's a rumor. Never just go on anybody's, oh, only their only opinions, but you want to take opinions in too, that makes sense and that, go in line with your best interest also. So you got to think clear. You can't just say, well, even though the person is coming with, as the young people say, receipts, or they coming with facts, that you want to form your own opinions, and they're not wise, because they put you in a situation that isn't good. So you got to think, critical thinking is what we're lacking in society, I believe. A lot of people don't know how to critically think. And so when you hear somebody say something, the way it is you don't just run with it. You have to go and research it. And you look for the information yourself, and if it goes in line with where your lifestyle is and your livelihood, if it can impact you in any way, then you then form the opinion on how you feel about approaching that issue. But you don't just say, oh, okay, this person said this, so it must be true. So this woman, she was older. She mentioned on TikTok that Iran was a distraction, not saying that it wasn't of interest and that it wasn't important, but she was saying that it's taking our minds off of the things that are right here that are impacting us in our cities, our inner cities. So Linda McMahon is the chair, or she's heading the Department of Education under the Trump administration. So she's trying to eliminate, they gut all the jobs recently. I do know that, well, most of them, thousands of them. There might be still people that are working there, but it's not very many as it was before. So they shaved all of those jobs down. So those people are without a job this summer. And now they're having to look for something else. So it says, still teaching, still caring, still not signing. Superintendent responds to McMahon's DEI demands. So this is out of Caffeinated Rage. So this was April the 3rd. The Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, sent all public school district superintendents a letter that requested each to sign the written agreement to not have any DEI curriculum as defined by her whatsoever in its schools. Now this was sent around to all the school districts. From what I was looking at, I was paying attention. So this looks like a copy of one of those letters that was sent to all the school districts. So each one of the school districts, including LA Unified, anybody in the LA County region, anybody outside the LA County region and other districts, received these letters, and they were supposed to sign it or they lose their funding. So this is going back, validating what I was saying in a previous video, that it was proposed at the time that they were going to withhold funding, and they started withholding funding. But this is right here the beginning of it. So they want to have a reason to say this is why we withheld the funding. So by them not signing this letter, at the school districts if they don't comply with the dropping DEI. And let me explain DEI. DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so they can't help people who are special needs. They can't help people who are people of color. And that would include black students and Hispanic and all in between. So whatever programs that you have that are under that DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, is supposed to no longer exist at these schools, or you lose funding. So Education Department warns schools eliminate DEI programs or lose funding. So Linda McMahon is in here. They show only the top of her right here. There is a 4-minute read, but there is I think something where they have it already audio recorded. So the following letter is a supposed letter by the superintendent in response to McMahon's demands. And while the name of the official has been taken out of protection, and the meat of the response is they're protecting basically. Let me explain to you. So this is a response from one of the schools to Linda McMahon, the superintendent, giving her response of how the school's position were on the issue. Now this is falling in line with what this woman was telling over on TikTok, saying that a lot of the schools said they were refusing to sign this letter. So far so good. So it says, the meat of this response is very much worth the read. So still not signing a superintendent's response to the Department of Education anti-diversity, equity, inclusion ultimatum. The federal government gave us 10 days to sign away our values. Here's our answer. Okay, so this is probably coming from most of the school districts. So be prepared, all of you people. These things are really happening. To whom it may concern, unfortunately concern, at the U.S. Department of Education, thank you for your April 3rd memorandum, which I read several times, not because it was legally persuasive, but because I kept checking to see if it was satire. Alas, it appears you are serious. You've asked me as a superintendent of a public school district to sign a certification declaring that we are not violating federal civil rights law by apparently acknowledging that civil rights issues still exist. You cite Title, I guess it's Title 4, it's Roman numeral, of the Civil Rights Act. Then proceed to argue that offering targeted support to historically marginalized students is somehow discriminatory. Okay? That's not just legally incoherent, it's a philosophical Mobius strip of bad faith. Let me see if I understood your logic. If we acknowledge racial disparities, that means racism. If we help English learners catch up, that's considered favoritism. If we give a disabled child a reading aid, we're denying someone else the chance to struggle equally. If we train teachers to understand bias, we're indoctrinating them. But if we train them to ignore it, we're restoring neutrality. Okay, how convenient that your sudden concern for equal treatment seems to apply only when it's used to silence conversations about race, identity, or inequality. Okay, let's talk about our English learners. Would you like us to stop offering translation services during parent-teacher conferences? Should we cancel bilingual support staff to avoid the appearance of special treatment? Or would you prefer that we just teach all content in English and hope for the best, since acknowledging linguistics barriers now counts as discrimination? And while we're at it, what's your official stance on IEPs? Because last I checked, individualized education plans intentionally give students with disabilities extra support. Should we start removing accommodations to avoid offending the able-bodied majority? Maybe cancel occupational therapy altogether so no one feels left out. If a student with a learning disability receives extended time on a test, should we now give everyone extended time even if they don't need it? Just to keep the playing field sufficiently flat and unthinking. You, or in your letter, it paints equity as a threat, but equity is not a threat. It's the antidote to decades of failure. Equity is what ensures all students have a fair shot. Equity is what makes it possible for a child with a speech impediment to present at a science fair. It's what helps the nonverbal kindergarten use an AAC device. It's what gets the newcomer from Ukraine and the ESL support that she needs without being left behind. And let's not skip past the most insulting part of your directive, the 10-day deadline. A national directive sent to thousands of school districts with the subtlety of a ransom note, basically. It's like threats that they're sending the school district. So demanding signatures within a week and a half, or else you'll cut funding that supports. Wait for it, low-income students, disabled students, and English learners. Brilliant, just brilliant, a moral victory for bullies and bureaucrats everywhere. So no, we will not be signing your certification. So this is the response from the school districts going to Linda McMahon personally. So I agree. We're not interested in joining your theater of compliance. Okay, we are not interested in gutting equity programs that serve actual children in exchange for your political approval. We are not interested in abandoning our legal, ethical, and educational responsibilities to satisfy your fear of facts. We're not interested in teaching, we are interested in teaching truth. And we are interested in honoring our students' identities. We are interested in building a school system where no child is invisible and no teacher is punished for caring too much. And yes, we are prepared to fight this in courts, in the press, and in the community, and in Congress if need be. So that's the response from the school districts. But this district will not be remembered as the one that folded under the pressure. We will be remembered as the one who stood its ground, not for politics, but for the kids. Sincerely, District Superintendent, still teaching, still caring, still not signing. So that's the response to the threat that has been sent around to every school district in all 50 states to comply with this, or they will lose funding. So that's how serious this is, guys. So the school districts are prepared to fight back in court and all through the long haul to continue to educate children who are underserved, marginalized. That would include children with special needs of all backgrounds, children who are black, children who are from any other place that are low income, children who are Hispanic, children who are homeless, children who need the learning and don't have the resources, or they don't live in an area that has much resources. So the school districts are prepared for a fight. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So what are your thoughts on it? Because I agree, because while people have been looking at all these other things on the outside, your babies are now in the spotlight, and they're trying to attack the educational system. They're trying to stop your kids from receiving education whatsoever in these communities. So that's really bottom line what they're trying to do. And like I said in the previous video, I was reading, they said they were banning childcare from any students that were undocumented. So like the little babies that go to the little child care centers, they want to exclude them from those centers. These are little children that have nothing to do with what's going on, just the fact that they are children of color or special needs, or they're low income. They are under attack as well. These communities are under attack. So all those people who voted for this man, now they're going to attack the communities. And this is one way to do it, outside of some of the other things. I'm going to add some other tidbits in here. Section 8, I heard, was going to be under attack. Food stamps, under attack, which is EBT. All of these social programs, I already heard about Medicare, was all under attack. So all these people who felt like by voting for the asshole, voting for the businessman, voting for this character from The Apprentice, voting for Trump, he's not going to do anything to us. Well, guess what? Yes, he is. And he's got all his minions working with him. And they are sending letters out, just like what happened when Doge sent letters out to employees telling them they had only a few lines they had to answer as to why they were doing their jobs and what was the importance of it. And if they didn't answer those 5 questions, I believe that's what it was, they had to answer the questions, and they couldn't give an answer, then they were dismissed of their duties. How this impacts people that are working at the school districts is, if you withhold the funding, then they might not have enough money to pay these teachers. And if you withhold the funding, there might not be that many kids there, especially when they're worried about ICE raiding the schools. That's probably what's coming next. They've already begun. Before the schools let out, there were presence of ICE going around the school campuses trying to take kids out of there. This is how serious this is. And it doesn't matter. You can be Hispanic or a black kid. Because when they look at black people, so this is for you black folks who think you can't be deported because you think you got citizenship here and you was born here and you an FBA. Let me tell you something. We look Haitian. We look Jamaican. All of us look phenotypically the same to them. So they can snatch you up too, just like anybody else. So that's why you need to take it serious. Don't be hard-headed and think, oh, they attacking FBA, Foundation of Black Americans. They attacking us. No, who's attacking you is that pink demon that's sitting in the Oval Office. He's attacking you. He's attacking all of us. So you need to listen up. Get out of your psychosis and devote the couch attitude and take this shit serious. That's what you need to do, because this right here is starting to hit the fan, as they say. It's coming to you in your face. It's not far away. This is definitely going to impact all of us, and whether you from here, from somewhere else, you living in these communities, you could have been born here like me. He's attacking American citizens, trying to strip their nationality and their citizenship. if he don't like something that they say, he did that threat to Rosie O'Donnell and to a couple of other people. I'm going to take their citizenship away. This man is doing all in the above that is illegal and unconstitutional, and you know it. So for anybody that picked this man, something must be wrong with you too, to think that he wasn't going to touch you, because he about to touch you. If he don't touch you, he going to touch your kids, because that's what this letter is referring to. He's trying to mess with the babies. And what do they do when you're messing with the mama's babies? You got to come out. You got to say something. You got to speak out. He done hit below the belt. Okay? So that's what this letter is referring to. So that's how serious it is. Yeah. So this was out of the Caffeinated Rage, April 14, 2025. And so it ain't a long time ago. And it ain't fake news. So get that out of your head, because it's real news. Yeah, it's real news.